Yeah, definitely. Okay, for my last storyline going into camp, we have to talk about it. And the reason why I made it the very last point was hopefully you guys made it this far. So we're going to talk about who will be QB number one. So heading into camp, the big question is, or I guess there's a few questions really, is will Mason be part of the team? Will he be traded by then, or will he be traded into the season? We'll start with what will Mason's role be?
I think they will trade Mason. I think provided they can get trade value for him, I think he's gone. I think it won't be straight away. I think it will be a few weeks into training camp, um, or into pre-season. I genuinely think there is a market out there for him, and if someone comes in with the right price, they'll let him go, because I've read so much stuff now. There's so many. I know these are rumors, but there's a saying, isn't it? There's no smoke without fire. That's the thing. And I think when you're reading insiders like Ray Fittipaldo, like Jerry Dulac, like guys who Caboli, who constantly are in the Steelers facility, are talking to players, talking to officials, talking to coaches. There's got to be some truth in it when it's the same story that's coming out all the time, that they will accept a trade for him. And also this fact that they don't want to disrespect his career by making him QB3, because they know that's probably going to have to happen, because they can't have a situation where they've signed this free agent, the top free agent, and they've drafted someone, and one of them is not going to play. So, yeah, I think Mason will be traded away.
Well, Rudolph wouldn't really be too motivated as well to be QB3, and I kind of understand that sentiment as well. And it's kind of interesting too. So with the Baker news going out to the Seahawks or the Panthers, there's a big opportunity that if that decides, maybe that might decide where Rudolph may go as well. I think he will eventually get traded, because it does feel that way. It feels like you're bringing these quarterbacks well. We don't know what the Steelers are thinking. They might think differently, but they might go in there, have a good camp, get them ready, and Mason might know that. He might go and back up for whoever. And then there's a possibility that in this day and age of the NFL, backups can turn into starters super fast,
Yeah.
super quick. Injuries, bad play, whatever,
There's a number of teams out there as well who I think need QB2s as well. Guys, where there's actually even a possibility of Mason, if he goes to, because he's a solid backup. That's what he is. He's not a starter. He's a solid backup. Chicago Bears, they need a backup to Justin Fields.
That's true. That's not a bad place for Chicago to. I don't mind that at all. If I was
The
Rudolph there that way.
49ers, who have said that they're going to trade Jimmy G away at some point, are going to need an experienced backup to Trey Lance. That's another possibility there. Where else? There's a few other places that I read that need experienced backups, and he could go there and quite easily start. You could go to San Francisco, and he could well be the starting quarterback by midpoint of the season if the whole Trey Lance experiment goes wrong, which Trey Lance has only had a couple of years.
Let's be honest. Injuries as well, like Trey Lance, and even, I want to go back to this Justin Fields, because say you were starting Justin Fields in Chicago Bears, and you're going in from 1 to week 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And Fields is going to get hurt, because a lot of these running quarterbacks, they get hurt. Like we all know it happens, right?
Yeah.
So and he may come in and start, and that's the change of pace, isn't it? And then you can just hopefully rely on the run game. If you're a Bears fan, you've got Rudolph there to help you out and win. You don't want to win. You can't win all the games, but you have a chance to win some games. And I think you are right. I think the Steelers may go out there and look for trade candidates like that. But going into camp first, to see how things roll out. It's not like a super worry right now. They probably know they're going to trade into someone at some point.
Yeah, I mean, even the Rams could do with a backup quarterback behind Matt Stafford, to be honest with you. I think it's John Wolford at the moment. So, yeah, he could have got the Rams. He could win the Super Bowl.
Get a ring. It's interesting with that one there. Okay, but now also another camp storyline too for QB number one. Where are we? Where are we sitting? I'm still on Trubisky, but we haven't seen him play. I think we need to see some football and read some articles and get some ideas around the Steelers to see where more coaching interviews.
Yeah.
Where are they right now? Is it Trubisky?
I think it is Trubisky. I think that's the talk. If you heard, as it Mike Sullivan, the QB coach, been interviewed, he was saying that Mike Tomlin was very clear at that time on who QB1 was, Mitch Trubisky. I just think with the toughness of schedule at the start as well, you're going to look at put someone with experience in there. I think it's a bit too much to chuck a rookie into that situation. Going to the Colts and the Bengals, then first home game against the Patriots. then a Thursday night in Cleveland, that's a lot to put on a rookie. Whereas Mitch Trubisky has played in the AFC North, he's played the Packers, the Vikings, the Lions, that rivalry there. Yeah, I think it's
Right.
Trubisky. I think it almost has to be, unless Pickett goes into training camp and then into the preseason games and absolutely blows the doors off it.
No, I think on all fronts, I think you are right. I think if the Trubisky starts, even if he does struggle, I think we can still win games with our defense. So if we start to, and also at week 1, week 2, week 4, you don't know who you are, right? So we'll get the offense going. But if you're going to throw Pickett out there, he'll probably make too many mistakes. He might try and force it. He might not even have the coverages right. He might not be able to do all that kind of stuff. So, and the pressure too, week 1 going to the Bengals, like let alone not playing football, but like mentality wise, that'd be crazy to send a young bloke out there. 25 or 24, just coming out of college, and okay, go play your first game in the Bengals territory and go get slaughtered. I like the idea of using Trubisky there, and if he struggles, stick with him. Steelers fans, stick with him. If he struggles, don't yell for Pickett game 1. Please don't. If we lose that first game and Trubisky does 2 interceptions, some fans are going to say you should put Pickett in, right? And that's crazy to me. You got to give him time.
Yeah, that exactly, and that always happens though, doesn't it? You see when you've got a rookie quarterback coming in behind an experienced quarterback, and the experienced quarterback gets the start over the rookie. There's always that thing when, if it doesn't go 100% right at the start, you get the fans on their backs. I mean, I remember watching the All or Nothing series on the LA Rams, and I think it was Case Keenum was the LA Rams quarterback at the start of the season, and as soon as he started to struggle a little bit, straight away they wanted Jared Goff in there straight away, and that's always the concern.
It doesn't make any sense also as a fan base to instantly put pressure as a fan base, because they are reading the articles. Like, as much as they don't say they do, they are reading the articles, and they're reading the comments or some things and saying, well, when will they should start Pickett? Well, you just can't do that. Give Trubisky 6 games to work and see what he can do first, and then you still have enough time to come back. Even if you lose, say 4 of them or 3 of them, you have plenty of time. But the Steelers are smarter than that. They won't. If he struggles, which I don't think he will, I think if anything, if Mitchell Trubisky struggles, it will be like mediocre play. It won't be 400 yards and 4 touchdowns straight away. It'll be mediocre play. Work your way into the season and go from there. Would you not agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty optimistic for Mitch, to be honest with you, that he'll do very well. I mean, the guy was a second overall pick. He was part of the Chicago team that got to the playoffs. He never ever really got to play his style of play in Chicago because he worked for one of the worst offensive head coaches in Matt Nagy, who is an absolute disaster. Who tried to turn him into a pocket passer, which is not what Trubisky is. If you read all this guy's scouting reports coming out of college, he is a mobile quarterback. He's a dual threat quarterback, which is what we need for the Canada system. So I've got no doubts that Trubisky will fit into this system perfectly.
Right on. Do you have any other storylines around this Steelers team, or do you want to head into the mailbag?
I think the one question for me is, in terms of the inside linebacker position, you've got obviously Jack and Bush. You're starting to. Spillane's your first call back up. Who are the third and fourth choices after that?
Well, I think you give Buddy Johnson a shot just because he's pretty. Like, I watched him, I think it was in the preseason. I think he's just physical, right? I don't know. And also I like his name. Let's be honest. Yeah. Buddy Johnson just sounds cool. He sounds like a Steeler, doesn't he? Doesn't he sound like a Steeler? Like, so I think you give him a shot.
So Buddy Johnson's 4. So then the 5th position comes down to a straight battle between Mark Robinson, UG3, and Matty Peveril's favorite, Marcus Allen.
Yeah, well, we talked the other day on BTSC. I think he's cut. I think Marcus Allen's cut. Is he not?
I think he should be.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? So I think there's more players that are more physical at the linebacker position than Marcus Allen. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So, and this is the year where it's kind of like a Benny Snell territory. What have you done for me lately? Like, you're never around the play. You don't do anything. Like nothing really happens around. No forced fumbles, nothing like that.
Yeah.
You get some tackles here and there. Are you a true Steeler? Nah, I don't think so. You're just a guy. But Spillane can, if he has another big year, had okay year last year, but if he brings us lays a smackdown like he did against Henry and those kind of moments, he can be a true Steeler, I think. And we all know what's going to happen with Devin Bush and Jack, but then give the young guy Buddy Johnson a chance just to have some play. Just get out there in certain packages where you are playing him instead of Devin Bush or whoever. And I think preseason football as well will give us a good insight to see what they're doing. Like really, like to see if they got what defense comes out first, who's with the ones, who's with the twos,
Yeah, and I think Buddy Johnson is the only real buck linebacker we've actually got in the team. He's the only Vince Williams style player that we've got at that linebacker position. The rest of them are all Mac backers. That's the mobile ones. That he's not a thumper. Whereas Buddy Johnson
if he has a good preseason, a good training camp, I think the Steelers may already know what they're going to use him for. But it will show the NFL fans or Steeler fans, hey, this guy can probably be, 3 or 4 on the depth chart and be behind and be key in certain moments, I think, for Buddy Johnson. So, and of course, Mike Robinson used to be a running back. He might be put into, practice squad, and will other teams go and approach him? I don't know, because he's only played 1 year linebacker, so he's probably going to be there. Marcus Allen, to me, and UG3 are probably the odd man guys out because we've seen what they do. But we haven't seen just yet the mystique around Buddy Johnson. We don't know, right?
Yeah, 100%. Agreed.
Man, I'm keen for this defense. I'm telling you.
Oh, defense could be awesome this year. I guarantee it. Top 5.
All right, let's get into the mailbag, guys. So we'll do the mailbag just quickly. Few questions here too. Let me start with this one first. Who's starting at center for the Steelers? Is it Mason Cole or Jason Hassenauer? Colton says. What do you reckon?
Mason Cole, hands down. Guy's solid. Guy was impressive for Minnesota last year. Didn't allow any penalties. Only allowed 2 sacks. Yeah, Mason Cole. What about you, Mark?
I think Mason Cole as well. I think what I've been hearing reports and coaches speaking and stuff like that, it looks like it's going to go towards Mason Cole starting at center, and then Kendrick Green moving behind guard or around that play. So I don't think JC Hassenauer will start. I think Mason Cole will win the job there. You go.
Yeah, Hassenauer was a backup. That's what he's there for. He's there to back up, and because I think Green is a guard now. So yeah, Hassenauer was a backup.
It's just the reports I've been reading and the videos I've been seeing when the coaches talk. Because like you think about it, when the guys ask them questions about certain ideas, they do kind of give little hints about what's going to happen, right? And that's why they try their best to not tell anyone. Although Kevin Dotson came out and said, well, Trubisky is number 1, in one of his first press conferences. But they gave little hints to us, being saying, okay, it does feel like now they're going to use Cole that way. They gave him the 2-year contract. Green can move over, less pressure for him, and start, Cole at center, hopefully for the whole season or the majority of the season. Second question is, I want to save that one. My bad. I'm saving that one to last.
Okay.
Right. Ali says, would you go with Snell as a second running back, or would you sign Johnson? We did talk about that, but what are your thoughts again?
I'd sign Johnson. I don't rate Benny. I don't rate Benny Snell. Benny Snell football is just a joke.
It is. It's like, yeah, this is your last, I guess, surprise us, man. I want to get behind you. I some of the runs I see Snell do, it's quite fun to watch. I think it can be pretty physical sometimes. But this is the last chance, like in preseason, if we see the same runs again, I don't know, man. I just want to see something more from you. I think from football standpoint, a football fan, you're giving us, 2 good plays out of 10, and we need 7. You don't need to be fantastic. You just need to be that guy to get 4 yards when you need to get 4 yards, right?
Yeah,
and you can't even get 1. So.
No.
No, I can't run the ball either. But I'm saying, like you can get 1. Surely you can get 1 yard. He just doesn't. He just runs into the wall. I've never seen it. Like he runs
into the back of his own blockers at times.
It's almost like he can't. He just has no vision. Like the football. Right. They do say it changes from college, like to what you see. Like it's like he literally maybe he doesn't know the play. Maybe he doesn't know who's going where. Or he's not talking to his lineman. He has no vision to get past his own lineman first. By that time, he hesitates and then he's stuck. And
I think the problem is that you go from college to the NFL. The NFL is faster, it's quicker, and I think you've got to process everything quicker. And I don't think he's got those skills to be able to process it quick enough. So when to see, well, there's the gap or there's the gap, he just can't process it quick enough. And I think whereas in college, where it was a bit slower, he had time. Oh yeah. There's the gap.
Yeah, so it's like he's being handed the football in the NFL. He's like, I've got this, and then he's like, I'm going to cut, but you're already 1.5 seconds too late. You should have cut before that. You should really know where you're going. Whereas Najee is like, he's just in the mode, man. He knows where to go, like a true running back, right?
Yeah,
and there's a big difference between Najee and Snell. That Snell can get like what 1.1 yards average, where Najee Harris is running the football and getting after contact 5 yards. So it's frustrating to watch as a Steel fan because we want to see them get at least 2-3 yards to be a 2nd and 7, not a 2nd and 11, 2nd and 10. And it happens all the time with Snell.
Well, 67% of Najee's yards came after contact last year. The vast majority of his yards were after he took contact.
And you imagine if we have a better O-line this year that can open up some holes for Najee to then not get touched in the first 5 meters or first 5 yards and then get near the linebacker. And if he's playing one-on-one with a linebacker, that's going to be fun to watch. And then also, if you can beat that guy, who's next? The safety. He can run over a safety. The safety ain't going to stop. If he's clean, the safety ain't stopping Najee Harris.
He reminds me. He start with how he looks now. He's reminding me a lot of Marshawn Lynch.
True. And he had the old the visor too the other day in the training camp or the beast mode. Yeah, I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised again of how well he's going to play. But it's just it needs some feature backup work for RB number 2. Let's go into our last question. I say this for a good reason because it's kind of like a good fan fun one. Honest Thoughts UK says, he's very honest. Which teams in the NFL do you most dislike and why? And is there any team you don't mind doing well? Let's start with the teams you don't mind doing well. We'll do the other one last. Who do you like to have success?
More NFC teams than AFC teams. I have a problem with AFC teams because obviously we're in that conference. Which NFC teams don't I mind? I don't mind the Rams. I like Sean McVay. I don't mind the Saints.
Well, I've got a theory on that, but keep going.
And other than that, Saints, Rams, I don't know. Oh, good question. That who else don't I mind doing? Well, I was thinking about going for the divisions. Yeah, the East. Not really in the East because obviously Philadelphia are Pennsylvania rivals. I can't stand.
Commanders, Giants.
No.
Nah.
49ers. I don't want to see the 49ers do well because I don't want them to have the same number of Super Bowls as us.
Right.
So yeah, Falcons. I don't mind the Atlanta Falcons either. I've got no strong feelings.
It's because they're no worry.
Yeah, exactly.
But I have a theory. I don't know if you kind of alluded to it, but I have a theory that there is no in the NFL. The Saints are the most likable team.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you can hate them because to me they haven't done anything to where no players, no coaches to me have really said. I guess there was that scandal back in the day with the defense, the guy at the Bounty Gate, sure, that stuff, right? And that was dealt with. But to me, as a fan and watching those fans, the fans are great. I've actually been to New Orleans. It's a lot of fun down there, a lot of jazz, a lot of music, a lot of bourbon, a lot of party, a lot of drinks, a lot of food. To me, I don't hate the Saints. There is nothing that says to me, yeah, I don't hate them. And I was talking to a guy when I was overseas and I was in Gettysburg, so in a random bar in Gettysburg. And this guy was a Raven fan. And I said to him, well, I said, you hate me, I hate you. And he's like, well, I don't hate you. I only hate the team. I was like, no. But I was like, okay, what team out there is like, you don't hate? He's like, well, the Saints go okay. I was like, I know, right? Yeah. The Saints are fine. Drew Brees was pretty fun to watch. And it's always been like, yeah, they've had a good stadium there. Of course, they won the Super Bowl. No, they didn't win it, did they? Did they win it?
Yeah, they won it. It was the year after the Hurricane Katrina disaster. They won it.
That's right. Yeah, they had that stuff going on.
31-17 against the Colts.
That's right. They did win it. Yeah, they beat Peyton Manning. Yeah, so I can't hate the Saints, but let's move into some teams. That's the question here is as well. That's what is it? The most dislike and why? I already know yours. I can already guess yours. Can I guess your number one?
Yeah,
it's Cowboys.
No.
Is it Cowboys? At least it was Cowboys.
No, Browns.
Oh.
No, Browns are one. Definitely hate the Browns just because they're just ridiculous. I mean, they get so worked up about us. They call it. They have Steelers week, and we just don't care. They just, their fans are just annoying.
They
But
do it twice a week. They do it twice a year too.
I don't
They
know.
have, you know,
Bungles second, Cowboys third.
yeah, I knew they're up there. I knew they're
I
up there.
cannot stand the Dallas Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys more than the Ravens. I really do, just because their fans just think they're the greatest thing ever, and it's been years since they won a Super Bowl. And Jerry Jones is just I can't stand Jerry Jones either. And then it's the Ravens, and then
He's too much involved. Like there's always you hear storylines of like him just like be an owner from the back, not like it's like he's almost on the field sometimes. Yeah, I can't stand it because I didn't really like when Romo played. I don't know. I like some of their running game over the years, but I'm not a big fan now of Zeke Elliott. I think he's washed up and done, and they're giving him all the money, and he's got like one more year, I think, in his contract. Dak Prescott is really good, but like he's doing his best he can there, and they still lose. Like people think we're wasting talent with the Steelers. Like talk about wasting talent or talking about what they're wasting there. I don't know. The Cowboys are they're a funny team because they are expected to win every year. Like they're like the Steelers, right? So and they go and try and win the East. But I think this year, I think Philadelphia will give them a run for their money.
oh yeah, Philadelphia win the East, mate.
I like them too.
Patriots.
Actually,
Patriots. Can't stand the Patriots.
Is that because of Tom Brady? Is that because of the actual organization?
Because of Brady, because of Belichick, because of the fact they've won 6 Super Bowls.
Yeah. No, I'm up there with you too. I think the Patriots up there, but I don't hate it as much anymore. But I more hated just Tom Brady. But
I can guess your number one, Mark.
Oh, it's the Bengals. And now it's even more than the Bengals. It's just a key fact. Honestly, I just never want to see him win. And I like stats like that. If I can go to I'm 80 years old or whatever I get to, with how many kids I have or whatever happens in my life, and the Bengals never win until 2054. No, sorry, 2074. That'd be great. 2074, 50 years away, and they haven't won a Super Bowl, and they're like 0-6 in Super Bowls. It'd just be the funniest thing. Like I'm just like I love to see them struggle because now they're on that mission. Like I don't get it, and I think this will be one of the off-season topics coming in the preseason as we amp up the week one. The Bengals think they're now the best with Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
They think they're the best, and yes, they have a good team, but you've literally won 3 games over the Steelers. That's all you've done. And you've literally just won 3 games in a row. Calm down, Bengals fans. Calm down.
Yeah. And you won the division by half a game from one of the worst teams ever.
And even like you say, because we had Mason at which we should have beaten the Lions with Ben. And did he get COVID or something like that? I can't remember.
Yeah, he had COVID. That's why
exactly. So he was a healthy, not a healthy scratch, but like a COVID scratch. And that evened the game up. So we had a chance to win the division. We're only half back. The Steelers are terrible this year, apparently. But we have our terrible towels, so we don't care. Mike Tomlin doesn't care. Mike Tomlin looks relaxed. The whole team looks relaxed. Brian Flores is pissed off at the NFL. Fantastic. He's chasing that thing down. As long as that stuff gets sorted out, and I wish all parties luck and whatever. But he's pissed off. Terrell Austin has something to prove with the team. Matt Canada's got something to prove with the team to get better. I really don't understand. And the Bengals, yeah, you're a good team, but you put yourself up there. Other teams are going to want to chase you down, and they have a really hard schedule this year too.
Yeah, 100%. And I honestly can see the Bengals not being at the top of the division this year. I honestly think the division this year will be between us and the Ravens. I really can't see the Bengals being up there.
Well, there's no real pressure on the Ravens this year too, besides maybe Lamar Jackson, but they had a good draft. They had a good defensive draft as well. And John Harbaugh, I think, is a pretty good coach. As much as I don't like him, but he has that team, well coached. He's won 20 games in the preseason in a row, so they'll probably go out and win all their 3 again, which is crazy, by the way. And that's the winner mentality that he promotes over there. But overall, yeah, I dislike the Bengals a lot because of the stuff with Pac-Man Jones and Vontez not perfect and those blokes, and just how they disrespect the towel. And Hushman Zada and those blokes and I don't know. I just want to see them struggle because I think it's funny. I think it's overall that we've won a few, and I think the Steelers. Here's a question for you: will the Steelers get the Super Bowl next before the Bengals? Realistically,
yes.
Yeah, I think so too. I think with our defense. So The Bengals still look. You got a good offense, Bengals man. Joe Burrow, you got your guy. All right, you got your guy. But a lot of teams have their guy. Matt Ryan had their. Falcons have their guy, Matt Ryan, right?
Yeah.
And nothing. Okay. The Green Bay Packers have their guy, A-Rod, one. Right. Big Ben, we had our guy. We got 2 out of 3. So I would just slow down because a lot of those guys are like, we are going to go out there and win it next year. We got so close. You still lost last year.
No, they're right. I think, yeah, exactly. Yeah, because a lot of people forget that the Green Bay Packers have got probably one of the best quarterbacks ever to play the game in Aaron Rodgers, and they've won 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah. Are they going out saying fire? Who's their coach? LaFleur? Are they going out for him? No. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's anything more you want to add? We went over time today, but that's all right. So if you made it this far, thank you very much. But anything else you want to add?
Who's your number 2, Mark? Who's your number 2 hate?
Oh, number 2. I don't think there is one.
About the Browns.
The Browns are funny to me. I don't really hate them because they're always we beat them.
Yeah.
Like we always beat them, right? Possibly could be up there. It could be the Patriots where I dislike them, but now not so much because Brady's gone. Who would be another team? Maybe. I don't really know. I'm trying to think of the teams in the AFC, like the West. No one. KC could be up there now too because they've beaten us a few times and they think they're all the bee's knees. It's all those teams that get like that are quite successful. Like I don't hate the Jaguars or Texans because it's whatever. But AFC North, that's us. South, I can't hate the Titans. I kind of like their play. Yeah. Who else we got? East. Who's in the East? Bills, Jets. You can't hate those. You can't. Bills. Maybe Bills, but Jets as well. Jets are like. But I kind of like the Jets, like football, because like they don't win either, but they try really hard.
Yeah.
Just don't win. Like Jets. I can't hate that. Who else is on the AFC East? Miami Dolphins. Yeah, maybe it's the Patriots. I think out of the teams, but a sheer hate between would be the Bengals that I dislike a lot.
I know you hate the Bengals.
Just because of how they played the last 5 years, and now this new emergence of look at me, we're the best, and you're like, what have you've done a few things, not that much. Okay, if you won a Super Bowl, it would have been it would have been so hard to be an NFL fan or Steelers fan because geez Louise, we would never get it. But you're 0-3. Okay, I don't know who else I would hate. Is anyone else who you would dislike in the NFL? I can't think of anyone else.
No, not really. No one I've got any strong dislike for. I mean, KC are slightly irritating. I don't dislike them, but they're just slightly irritating. But no, not really. Apart from those 5 that I listed.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like NFC South. There's Falcons. There's Canadian Saints. There's Bucks. Maybe Bucks because Brady's over there again. But Bucks have struggled, man. Like there was a series of time where the Bucks didn't win a game for 21 games in a row in their history. That's kind of crazy. NFC North, maybe the Packers because I know Rodgers is so good. I don't know. It's a funny question, but it's a great question that was brought up. Anyways, any final thoughts on? Are we going to get out of here?
No, all good, man. Good pod. Good to get through some of those camp issues. Looking forward to. Should we give a hint? A special guest next week, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I don't even know who it is, but I kind of do. We're gonna. Yeah, I know who it is. We're gonna. If you guys stick around too throughout the week and training camp, we'll be breaking down stuff, going for camp battles, and it's gonna get a lot more fun. We are in the quiet period now, but we don't stop talking Steelers here. We're a Steelers fan run channel, and very quiet time. But here we go, Steelers, and here we go.